What's up guys, Matt here at MKS Performance. Just a little top tip for you guys whenever you're using ARP main studs. A bit of advice for you is obviously when you're fitting the bearing caps, obviously with the studs, what you want to do is you want to put the actual ARP lube on the actual nut and then wind that nut down to push the caps on in place. Then once the cap is fully seated down, as you can see it is here, then apply the ARP lube to the actual thread of that stud. There's a very good reason for that, because if you were to lube up the studs beforehand, so you lube up the thread on the stud and then you wind the stud into the block and then you slide your saddles over the top of that, what can happen is the bearing saddle catches some of that ARP lube and brings it down between the actual seat, between the block and the saddle. And what happens is that ARP lube, which has got friction modifiers in it by the way, will then enter and contaminate that bearing. So you've got to be very careful. Always lube them up basically when the saddle is all the way down. You won't damage the thread if you've just applied a ARP lube to the nut to get the saddles down. It's not going to do any harm because it takes literally no force at all to. It's an interference fit, bearing in mind, so when the saddle does go down it needs a little bit of force, but as long as there's a little bit of ARP lube on the nut only to begin with, and then once it's settled into position here, then apply the lube to that stud. Okay guys,